C-Bum or Chris Bumstead, the reigning 5 times Mr. Olympia champion, underwent a hair transplant some time back, and this was a subject of intense discussion on social media sites like Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube itself. If you want to know the expert's opinion about his hair loss problem, his medical problems, his usage of finasteride, the way his hair transplant and hairline were planned, and what's the future if you undergo a hair transplant at his stage, then please keep watching this video till the end, because we will be discussing in this video the details of Chris Bumstead hair transplant. Hello friends, I am an American board certified hair transplant surgeon, Dr. Satya Saraswat, and I have been practicing hair transplant and hair loss treatments and being active in this field for last 18 years since 2006. Please subscribe to our channel to watch such interesting and useful videos. Before discussing the hair transplant and its planning in the case of Chris Bumstead, let us first discuss his hair loss problem and how it started. So we know that currently his age is around 29 years. When he was around 23 years, that is like 2018, Chris Bumstead started showing some signs of hair fall, and by those pictures we could see that he was suffering almost from grade 1 to grade 2 Norwood Bale pattern baldness. Also we know that he suffered from an autoimmune condition known as IgA nephropathy. This is an autoimmune disorder, which means that your own cells started acting against your own body cells. Immune system was acting against itself, its own body cells. This basically causes some filtration problems in the kidney. There are specific cells known as glomeruli in the nephrons which filter your blood and make the urine. So because of this nephropathy, this filtration decreases, and this further leads to fluid accumulation in the body. So initially it was a thought that probably he was working out a lot, and because of those kind of problem he is having this swelling. But when he underwent a thorough and a detailed checkup, this diagnosis was discovered, and for this problem the mainstay or the main course of treatment is steroids. And we all know that steroids, when used in a case who is genetically predisposed to hair loss, can have some hair loss. So it is thought that the treatment of steroids or the dosages of steroids which were given to him at the time of the treatment of that particular problem did result in his hair loss or triggered the sort of hair loss in his case. Then the baldness just kept on increasing slowly and slowly. Initially not much of medical treatment was taken for this, for the hair loss which he was suffering. Now let us discuss what medical treatment Chris Bumstead or C-Bum used for his hair loss. In a podcast in which he was also one of the participants, he acknowledged that he has started using finasteride for his medical problem, and fortunately he did not have any side effects due to finasteride. We all know there are some possible sexual, emotional and other kind of side effects which can be seen with the use of finasteride. If you want to know more about the side effects of finasteride and how to prevent them, please click the video on the link given above to know more about finasteride. So around 3 years back, C-Bum started taking finasteride for his hair loss problem, and as we saw in some subsequent pictures, we could see that his hair loss almost paused or did not accelerate, or his hair loss did not increase when he was taking finasteride. In fact, his middle hairs which were preserved, which he did not lose at the time, they started becoming a bit thicker and a bit better. So finasteride he has used, and friends, it's a very useful medicine. It's a US FDA approved medicine for the male pattern baldness. That's what he started taking. If you are suffering from similar kind of problem, you can mention down in the comment section below, and if you want an expert opinion from us, we will definitely try to help you out with that. Now let us come to the hair transplant part, which is the most interesting part of his planning and hair transplant he underwent. We all know that in December 1st week, Chris Bumstead underwent a hair transplant at a clinic in Turkey, and not much of the details of this hair transplant are known. There were some posts which were shared by this clinic on Instagram and also on the personal social media channels like Instagram of Chris Bumstead also. There is no detailed mention about the number of grafts, what was his donor site like, what were the assessments of the treating doctor. But what we have seen is just the pictures and a few hairline marking videos and the end picture. And in one of those pictures we saw that not just the front, some grafts was put here also, and they have transplanted up to the vertex part. The recovery was uneventful. He seemed to be quite happy with this hair transplant. The results are still to show up, but the further details of his procedure are not known, and many of doctors as well as the patients, they are waiting eagerly to see his results. If you are also planning a hair transplant, you can call us at the numbers given here on the screen for you. Now, let us discuss some important concerns which many patients have shown on social media sites, especially like Reddit. There is a complete thread about his hair transplant on Reddit where people have criticized the way his hair transplant was performed. So let us discuss what is being said, and then we will give our take also about this. There were two major criticisms which were seen on these sites. The first one was that his hairline was too low. His hairline was too low in terms that it didn't look mature. The second important criticism of his hair transplant was the hairline was too straight. We all know that hairline is an artistry, and when we are designing a hairline, we need to have some irregularities there. But in his case, from the initial pictures, the immediate post-op pictures, we could see that the hairline was absolutely straight here and appeared to be a bit low. We also concur to some extent to these things, that considering that he is just 29, he can have some future hair loss also. We also think that his hairline is on the lower side, and apart from that, we also think that the hairline is straight. It could have been a bit more irregular, slightly more mature. This is our take, but I'm sure the clinic and the patient, they must have discussed this amongst themselves before actually planning this out. We are hoping that he gets a good result. But let us discuss one more important thing in the next section, which is what's the future if you undergo a hair transplant like this. But before we do that, we request you to like this video. So let us discuss the future if you undergo a hair transplant like this at an age like his. There are some concerns. The concerns are that if he loses the hair which are here, and we all know that the transplant in the existing area has been done, but it is slightly sparse. The concern is, say 5 years or 7 years or 10 years down the line, if his hair loss keeps on happening, the hair loss persists, then he can have thinned out area or bald area in between here going up to the crown, and he can have hairs here and sparseness here, which may look unnatural considering that the hairline has been planned on the lower side. But we really need to see how his hair transplant turned out. We really wish him all the best for his hair transplant, but it's going to be an interesting case study for doctors like us also who are doing these hair transplants regularly. Please share this video with your friends or your colleagues who are also interested in knowing the opinion of experts or hair transplant surgeons in cases of celebrities, so that this motivates us to make more such videos about more and more hair transplants which the celebrities are undergoing. If you want to know some home remedies for your hair loss treatment, please click the video on the left. And if you want to see the results of one of our patients who has undergone a hair transplant with us, please click the video on the right.